Welcome to Winning in the Workplace. Hi, I'm Gordy Rush, and I'm with my good friend Maurice Velasquez. How are you, Maurice?
I'm doing well. How are you, Gordy?
Good.
Good to
Maurice
be here.
is with Team Real World, and in this show, we're going to discuss the alignment model. Now, last week we talked in detail about how companies get so unaligned that we create disengagement throughout our company.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
Now, today, we're going to dive into the solution, the answer on how to get aligned. It's the magic answer.
That's right.
What makes up the alignment model? So, Maurice?
All right, well, let me break it down for you. It's
All right.
what we call the alignment model. All right, and the alignment model is made up of 5 key elements.
Okay.
Okay, and we can break those down. Of course, we're going to break one of them down today, but the first one is this, is that managers and executives need to know that there are 4 phases to helping a team get to perform.
Okay.
And if we don't understand those 4 phases, managers and executives mess things up. So we'll cover that a lot in detail
Gotcha.
today. But there's 4 phases to a team. Okay. Secondly, is you need to learn how to align everyone's roles and everyone's responsibilities so that everyone stays in what you and I often say, everyone stays in the same lane, in their lane.
Oh, no question.
Okay. And because
Sure.
we get so much out of lane, we step all over each other's roles. So we need to know what it means to clarify each other's roles. The third element of the alignment model is how to have real conversations. Oftentimes in the market, there's a really good concept out there called crucial conversations.
Okay.
Other one's called radical candor. This follows the same theme, okay? But our model, we call it real conversations.
Real
okay?
conversations. I
Real
like it.
conversations, okay? About problems, solutions, and making sure everyone in the company has a place to go talk about real problems and real issues. So that's the third element. The fourth element of the alignment model is how to create a rhythm of conversation so that every week, every 2 weeks, things are moving. Okay, and that because everyone has a rhythm of conversation, because everyone has good conversations, we've got to make sure that there's a rhythm, that every week the decisions are being made and being announced.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that just like a human body, it has a brain, it has a voice, right? It has a heart. Companies the same way. They have to have a rhythm of being able to say, okay, when are we going to use our voice? When have we made certain decisions? When have we announced certain decisions? And we tend not to do a rhythm of communication. So we may be having conversations, but no one really knows what's going on. So this fourth element of the alignment model brings it together.
Gotcha.
All right. And the fifth is how to help everybody stay on the same page once we've said, execute. Okay, once we said, let's take that mountain, or we say, hey, yeah, let's do this. And that, that decision of let's do this may be, let's go get some more data. Okay, well, if we all agree that we haven't made a decision, but the decision we've made is that let's go get data, one person can't then go and poo-poo the idea, and then one person can't go and say, well, I think we're going to decide on this. Wait, we have to be on the same page. So that the fifth element of the alignment model is how to stay on the same page depending on what the decisions are.
Gotcha.
Okay, so those things brought together teaches everybody, all of our listeners and everyone who goes through our program, the knowledge of saying, okay, we're a team. We know how to play this game together because we know we have these 5 elements of the alignment model. Okay?
Excellent. All right, perfect. Now, I'm going to want to just tackle one
Yeah,
element.
let's just tackle one
of
of
the
them.
4 phases of a team.
The first one. Okay.
This show is Winning in the Workplace.
Yeah.
And you can find us at winningintheworkplace.com or where else, Maurice?
You can find us. You can contact me directly at maurice@teamrealworld.com or
Okay.
call us at 225-772-4357, which is 772-HELP.
Gotcha. Now, let's jump in. And, Maurice, everybody wants to perform.
Yep.
And everyone wants their team to perform. Mm-hmm. That's the 4th phase, right?
That's the 4th phase. The 4th
Okay.
phase of a team is we'll cover 1, 2, 3 in a minute, but the 4th phase is the phase of performance.
Gotcha. All right.
Yep.
So you're saying, however, although we need to get to perform consistently,
Right.
we as managers and executives do a lot of things in the first three phases,
Right.
that we keep our teams from performing.
Yeah,
correct?
and I'll just tell you the one thing real quickly, and then we can get a little more organized. But what we oftentimes do is we hire people, and we say, okay, we hired you, now perform.
Go do your job.
Go do your job, and we leave them alone.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that we want to quickly jump every new hire or every new team quickly into performance, but we don't take into account that there's 3 other phases before.
All right. So
if
the
you don't-
4 phases are.
Let's go with the 4
All right.
phases. The first one is the phase of forming. You got to form your team. The second one is the storming phase, where there's a lot of disagreement. The third one is norming, when we basically get on the same page, and then the fourth one is performing. Okay, so we have to go through the first three correctly to get to performance, but I think it'd be better if we start with the fourth one first, because that's really what matters, is how do we get to perform?
All right. So,
You know?
yeah, how do managers and executives?
Well, the things that we teach is that there's four basic things to help teams perform. Is you have to define what performance is. In other words, you got to be able to measure it.
All right.
You got to have a metric. Okay, it has to be, managers and executives have to review the progress on a weekly and monthly basis. Third, we have to provide training for whenever someone's not performing. And fourth, we have to do a lot of celebration and a lot of recognition for those that are performing. And this is a weekly, monthly kind of thing. All right. Executives and managers tend to not do those things. But those are the four things that we need to do: is define metrics.
Right.
Secondly, review the progress. Third, provide training when someone's slipping. Or fourth, celebrate. Do a lot of celebration.
All right. So it's really about setting up clear scores, metrics, right?
It is. It is. See, how many times? See, it's kind of like this. Let me give you an example. It's like we tell technicians, okay, you guys need to be really good at being technicians, or I may have hired you knowing that you're a good technician, right? But no one told you, or no one's made it very clear that what that means in this company is that every day you have to go and visit and have 5 to 8 clients that you visited every day. Well, you know what? At the last company, we're doing 6 or 5, maybe 5. But you, Gordy, you want me to perform at 7. But you hired me, but we never really have talked about what's the day-to-day expectation of my job. So you see, you're going to sit there and go, well, Maurice, I thought he was a really good technician, but he's not getting out there to the clients and he's not working those tickets fast enough. Why? Because I'm used to doing 5 a day, but you're wanting me to perform closer to 8. Well, no one's told me that. Okay. Second of all, you want me to report all my activity on a report by the end of the day by 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, no one's told me that. You know, I'm used to basically I'll send it to you tomorrow by 10. All right. And third, you want to make sure that my rework is no more than 12%. Well, man, last company I was at, we were working perfectly fine with a 22, 28% rework.
So you got,
and no one's told me that 12% is what where I need to be at.
So you're talking about setting up the metrics. I assume then the executives are the ones who are going to set the metrics.
Let's say the big global ones,
Yes.
the executives set. For
Okay.
example, I usually like to use this example. The executives are the ones that should say, take that mountain. That's a very global one, okay? All right? The managers are the ones that say, okay, let's do it like this.
Right.
Let's go on the right of the mountain and then up vertically. You see what I'm saying? And then what happens, however, is that managers tend to wait and expect that it's the executives that have to figure all that out.
Got you.
Okay? So a company could say, we want to open up an office we want to open up a franchise, and we need to open up a remote office, and we need that office to perform at 26% profit. Okay? All right. Well, the managers need to then engage and start finding out by when. Okay? In the first month, in the first year, with 3 employees, with 6 employees, with how much marketing are we going to do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the managers have to engage the executives to say, okay, we heard your big goal, but we need to engage you of what we think the little things are that need to be done to get to that goal.
Gotcha.
So it's a collaborative conversation between the managers and executives on what those metrics are.
All right, then let's discuss how to review these
Sure.
monthly, weekly. You got to keep the conversation going.
Yep, sure. All right, yeah. See, if those metrics aren't defined, then people are going to go in 12 different directions, right?
Right.
All right. Otherwise, what happens is people forget, and then you lose accountability. See, you get on to me, for example, as an executive, manager, supervisor. You get on to me because I'm not performing right, okay? But I'm not following through. But I also know that you're not going to ask me about it for another 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not just about giving metrics. It's about the executives letting the managers know, look, these are the metrics that matter to us, and every week we're going to ask you managers about where we
You're
are.
going to be held accountable.
And you managers need to hold your supervisors accountable to whatever metrics you're setting up for them to meet our met. And then the supervisors need to hold, you see what I'm saying? There needs to be a consistent agreement that in order to perform, we all have to have something to be measured by.
Excellent. All
Then
right.
do training and do a lot of recognition.
All right.
Don't.
You got 2 quick quotes for us?
Yeah. One of them is by Henry Ford. He said that somebody came up to him and says, well, what happens if we spend all this money training people and then they leave? All right. He says, you know what's worst is if we don't train people and they stay.
Got you.
Okay. And then he added on later in his conversation, it says just people love parties and people love to be given gifts, okay, of recognition. But what people mostly want is recognition. And
All right.
it doesn't have to be with money.
I
Just
like that.
constant, ongoing recognition.
All right, so we're going to continue this in our next segment.
Sure.
But what can executives and managers do right now for help?
Attend our one-day workshop that's coming up in August, and we ask executives, managers, supervisors to come in pairs. Don't just come by yourself. It's going to be a lot harder for you to sell it back to your office. Come with 2, and the second person you bring is 50% off if they mention they heard it on our show.
All right, we'll take a time out. We'll be back with more of Winning in the Workplace on Talk 107.3 FM, WPRP.